unity, that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about.
Welcome to the Hub. Again, another opportunity that you and I have to converse, to have a conversation that can only lead to the betterment of our communities, of our families, of our country. And that is what we hope for. That is what we would like to see realized here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. So I want to welcome you to the Hub. I want to say to you, if you're viewing me on Facebook, please share the live. Those on YouTube, do the same thing. Sharing is caring. And in some parts, they are an hour behind. In some parts, they are an hour or so ahead. So time has actually changed, right? There are some places right now, it's 7 o'clock and not 8. There are other parts where it's 8, right? So again, just saying, I hope you can adjust to suit. But we must converse. We must talk about what's happening here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Anytime you think of giving up, say to yourself, this nation depends on you. Grenada is relying on you to produce, to do things that would help develop the country. Too many a times we have people who looking for praises, who looking for recognition, who would wish Grenada bad, and once something is going good, they would invent some story, they would come up with something, right, to get attention, and many a times it is not really geared towards the betterment of communities or the betterment of the country. I give you a typical example. The NNP wants to take credit for everything that's good, right? So they know government is a continuum. When the NNP came into power in 2008, they met a lot of things in the pipeline, and they were able to implement it. And nothing is wrong with that. The NDC came into power, and there were things that were in the pipeline, and the NDC is implementing it. Those good stuff. That is how a government operates. So the NNPs out there saying, well, the government should not take credit for implementing some of these projects because the NNP started it. And I am asking myself, who really benefits at the end of the day? Grenada benefits. Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique will benefit from these projects being implemented. The NDC could have decided, no, we are not going that route or that route. We're changing X or changing Y. Because once you're government, you have total control over what happens within the country when it comes to government projects and programs and so on. They can redesign it, they can change it, they can make adjustments, even if the loan is approved, even if the contractor is doing X or Y. They can make changes. But there are things that are good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And the NDC, being cognizant of that, is implementing those projects. But the NNP is out there saying, Well, we started the negotiation, we got the contract, we got the this, we got the that. Okay. But the Grenadian people voted you out and voted the NDC in because they thought that the NNP was not doing a good job. They really wanted the NNP out. So who do you expect will govern? Who do you expect will deliver on those projects and programs, implement them? It will be the NDC. But you see, the NNP has nothing going for it. Nothing is working for the NNP. And as a result, they are very bitter. They're very angry because they thought the NDC would not be able to govern in such a way that the people would be so happy, that the people will be on board with the agenda. They thought, well, it's a young team and they would not last for 6 months or a year. That is what the NNP thought. They thought that this young team would not be able to execute or do the programs and projects and do things to transform Grenada. They expected the NDC to fail. But the NDC disappointed them in that they have done far more than what the NNP did when they won all 15 seats in 2013. Within that 1 year to 1 year and a half, that period, the NDC did far more than the NNP during that same period. And people are impressed. People are happy with the performance of the NDC. And that is the dilemma that the NNP is in. So you have a project taking place at the Maurice Bishop International Airport where they're constructing, expanding, constructing, installing, bridges, as we would call it. So when the bigger planes come into Grenada, you don't have to walk on the tarmac or walk on the track, right? You would just go straight into that bridge or that piece of equipment or whatever they have there, and you go into the terminal. That's a great achievement. That's very, very good. So the NNP is saying, well, you should not take credit for it because we are the ones who started it. We're the ones who got the contract or the loan, and we're the ones who really thought about it. Okay. So you want the NNP who lost the election, they want to take credit for the NDC implementing, executing, getting these projects started, getting these projects completed. The NNP wants to take credit for it. But they are not taking credit for the shrimp farm where we lost $50-something million when the convestors came and tricked the NNP administration. So they are not taking credit for that. They are not taking credit for the Mount Hartman fiasco. They are not taking credit for the Fall Farm fiasco. They are not taking credit for the failed Cap Bank fiasco. They are not taking credit for the call center fiasco. They are not taking credit for the MNIB fiasco. They are not taking credit for the Livera fiasco. They are not taking credit for all the bad things that took place under the NNP, that occurred under the NNP, where Grenadians and where the government of Grenada lost hundreds of millions of dollars. But they want to be recognized They want to be relevant. And as a result, they are taking credit for NDC implementing programs and projects. Come on, the NDC is the government of the day. Just as when NNP was in power, when they came into power, they met a lot of programs and projects on stream. The NNP took credit for it. Yeah, in fact, the NNP never recognized what the NDC did. They never gave them credit. But the NNP now is fighting for credit, fighting for relevance, fighting for props. Come on, you should be happy that the NDC is implementing these projects and programs. They have not stopped. They're implementing it. You know, with a change in government, you can find delays, you can find changes being made, but the NDC recognizing that's a good thing for Grenada. They went along and, implement the project, continue with the project. What's wrong with that? We have become so petty that when something is good for Grenada, you have all kind of bacchanal being created by the NNP. It is good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Let us embrace it. Let us be happy with that. But instead, the NNP is spending their time trying to get props, take credit, feel good. It's a kind of feel good moment. That's all they're out for. But mind you, they're in opposition and they have not submitted a realistic suggestion, proposal, right? Recommendation, nothing of that sort. They have not even brought forward a new idea, a program, a project, nothing. But all they're fit for is to make mischief. All they're fit for is to undermine the governance process of this country, in my belief. They have to become a more responsible opposition party. They are national events that you don't see their leader or ruler attend, period. National events, not NNP or NDC events, He would not attend. He would not be a part of it, period. And that is a reason for extreme concern. People must be concerned because you win, you lose, that's the election. But after the election, we have to build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. So we have to come together, opposition and government, to build the country, to improve the country. But the NNP party, the opposition forces, they are not interested in coming together and building this country. All they want is power. All they want is to come back in power. For what? I know you. I know why they want to come back in power. To victimize people, to spite people, to do mischief. That's why they want to come back into power. And they don't care if getting back into power means meeting a Grenada that is, at the very bottom. They don't care. And they will help to bring Grenada to its knees because they want to come back into power and they would love for the situation to be bad. That is what they want, They want the situation economically and otherwise to be bad in the country, socially. In other words, there are some people on that obstructionist side who praying for the crime rate to be high, who praying for the unemployment rate to be high, who praying for the poverty rate to be high, who praying for cost of living to be high, who praying for industrial action and disputes within or between the unions and government. There are people who are actually on the obstructionist side who are praying for that to happen, who are wishing for that to happen. And I consider them to be haters of progress. I consider them to be unpatriotic. I consider them to be intentionally mendacious, intentionally wicked to their own homeland, to their own country. You should be happy. You should be glad. You should be extremely, extremely joyous when Grenada wins, when Grenada succeeds. Come on. We have to start putting country first before party and before petty, infantile arguments or disagreements. We could put the country first. And that is why I say to friends who say to me, well, I saw a certain lady a part of that trip to Boston. And they asked the question, why? And I said to them, well, she went to Boston as part of the delegation because she is an employee of the government of Grenada. In fact, she's the communication officer for that ministry. What is wrong with that? And not only that, we were able to go out there and represent Grenada well. She was cordial, she was warm, she was professional, and that is what you expect from anybody who is serious about country. Yes, we can have our differences. Yes, we can have, tough conversations, arguments. Yes, we can have all of that. But when it comes to representing country, we need to put aside these things and see Grenada first. And I hope you can use me as an example, the level of maturity that I would showcase from time to time. Because some people expected some brawl, some uneasiness, some back and forth. But that is not Kem Jones. And the goodly lady, she was very professional and she represented her country well. And she caused the energy in the room wherever we went to be one of great success. So I am simply saying that is the level of maturity that is required as we move along. We can disagree, we can have arguments, we can have heated debates, but when it comes to Grenada, we need to put Grenada first and party after, and disagreements and so on after. Because Grenada, depending on us, we have to change the way we operate, the way we do things. The modus operandi has to change. If you want Grenada to be transformed, to be developed, you have to think differently. And not only think differently, if I am here and as per usual, moderating, facilitating a robust intellectual conversation via radio and social media with the hope of changing the mindset of our people, I must also demonstrate that. So it's not just me saying it, but I must demonstrate it in what I do on a daily basis. So the level of higher consciousness and higher reasoning must show. It must show in what I do and what we all do as we move along. So I am simply saying we should reach to that place. We are going on to 50 years of independence. We should reach to that place where we are so mature that we can put country first before petty politics. And we are seeing those on the other side, the obstructionist team, looking for praises, looking for applause, looking for commendation, right? You lost. You're defeated in the polls. The Grenadian people decided they don't want you. They want the NDC. But the NDC coming into power met a number of programs and projects. You want them to scrap it? What do you want them to do? What you want them to do? they decided there are some good programs, good projects, and they will continue with it. That's a good thing. That's good for Grenada. But the NNP is consuming their energy and time making Bacchanal, making Melee, because they want the NDC administration. So the NNP is spending time and all their energy making Bacchanal and Melee because they want the NDC to openly thank them and praise them for this and that. Why they didn't do it when they came into power in 2013, when they met all these different programs and projects and so on. Why they didn't do that? No, because if they do that, the NDC would look good. So what the NNP did when they came into power, they start painting a bad picture of the economy, of the country, and they made people believe, well, the NDC was, that is how they did. They operated. But the people of Grenada decided we have had enough of the NNP. We want newness. And as a result, we will embrace the NDC, the team, the men and women to move this country forward. So I am urging the NNP, stop making Melee and Bacchanal for very petty things, simple things, things that we all need to celebrate. Look, for example, the 50th independence celebration was launched on the Carnival. We did not see the leader of Her Majesty's or His Majesty opposition there. A national event. The Governor General was there. The Chief Justice was there. Right? Government ministers and officials and so on from embassies, and they were there because it is and it was a national event, not NDC and NNP. But he refused to go. And it's the same kind of behavior we are seeing in the parliament, where he will speak, the leader of His Majesty opposition will speak and just leave before the session ends, leave before other members of parliament address the house. That is the level of disrespect we are getting from the leader of His Majesty's opposition. And people are noting that, they are recognizing it, and many reasonable thinking Grenadians are not happy with the conduct of that individual. And I always say, if you're a leader, lead. Because you have followers, you have supporters who looking up to you. That is why many a times those pundits and surrogates of the NNP, they would wait to get a cue from that individual. Anytime there is something controversial, anytime there is some kind of tebe, some kind of melee, they would wait to get a cue from that individual to come out publicly and say certain things, because they're looking to the individual for leadership. But if they see the individual not attending national events, not participating in things that can move this country forward, then they would start questioning certain things and they would not even participate. We have to reach to the point where we can forget about the petty politics, because it would only help to divide us. That is what would happen, right? So I am simply saying, let us reach to that place where we are so mature that we see country before politics and before party. I have seen a number of NNP supporters who attacking me. They say, well, why should Kem go on such a trip to Boston, for example? Why? Why Kem? And Kem Jones has a diplomatic passport and Kem Jones has this and it. I mean, all of these things are not true. but they're out there venting. And I say to myself, you know, I deserve to be a diplomat for the work I have done in getting rid of the NNP administration. I deserve to be a diplomat for this country. But I am not this kind of fussy individual. I am contented. I am not this individual to be boastful and push up, push up. No, I will go and sit in the back of the room and be called forward instead of going and sit in the front. And then they say to you, sir, this is not your seat. Go to the back. That's how I operate. And when I am out there, I'm a statesman. Wherever I go, I know what is expected of me. And if you interact with people who were in a room or wherever with me, they will give you good feedback on your humble servant. And most of the individuals who are talking, they cannot even, their feet cannot even go in my shoes. They can't. They don't have what it takes. But you know, they're negative. They are accustomed to attacking everything. But you know why they're afraid? I can tell you why they're afraid. They're afraid of Kem Jones because they know what I did for the last 9 years, consistently so, to get rid of the NNP administration, to get rid of Keith Mitchell and all of them from power. Don't think they know it. And further to that, they know that I have taken it up on myself to dedicate time, effort, energy in getting our brothers and sisters from the diaspora registered to vote in the next election. And I am not waiting for the next election to do those things. What I have done is to indicate to the viewers and listeners, and they know I have a huge listenership in the diaspora and also here in Grenada. So they know when I speak, I am communicating with hundreds and thousands of Grenadians. And they know that if I am able to go out there in the diaspora and physically engage our brothers and sisters so that they can come home when we have events and activities, and in that process, register and participate in the election, in the next election, they know that NNP don't stand a chance. That is why they're scared. That is exactly why they are scared. But they cannot stop 6 runs, because whatever I touch will be successful, will germinate, will produce. And they know that. But I'm so accustomed to them that when they attack me, it works as motivation. It works as diesel or gasoline in that engine to drive, to excel, to do more, to have more mileage and get things done. That is why they're concerned. They're scared because of that. Because I will be in New York sometime coming to the end of November or the beginning of December. I will let you know. And I will be bringing that message to the folks in the diaspora that you need to get registered when you come here, and you need to participate in our democracy, because this is your home. This is your home. You remember many years ago, there was this accusation, allegation out there that plane loads of Grenadians were coming down to vote for a particular party, and they were okay with that. They were okay with that. So I am a student of history. And the easiest way to defeat your enemy is to study your enemy and utilize some of the good strategies and techniques of your enemy to defeat them. Don't go and invent something new. When you go through, you investigate, you research, and you realize X, Y, and Z were good strategies, you utilize it to defeat your same enemy. So I am saying to you, they are scared, because I will be in the United Kingdom. I will go to Canada. I will go to the United States, different states in the United States of America, throughout the Caribbean, speaking to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, encouraging them to register, because we need thousands of Grenadians, at least between 7,000 and 8,000 Grenadians to register. You live in the diaspora, you go back and forth. When you come for funerals, when you come for weddings, when you come for Carnival, when you come for Christmas, when you come for events and so on, please make it a date and get registered and pass the information to me. And I can also help you facilitate that process to make sure that you are registered. That is what must happen, because we want to ensure that the transformation agenda is realized. And for it to be realized, we need you to be a part of that process, not just on the sideline, but prepare to vote to keep the NDC administration in power. You don't understand how powerful your vote is. You know? Think about it for a moment. In St. John, for example, MP Kireen Joseph won by about 12 or so votes. If we can get our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to register, a couple hundreds of people register, because our NDC base will remain there. One or two people might drop off, some might die, some might migrate, but you have to make up, right? But within a 5-year period, it would not be that dramatic. You would not see 500, 600 difference, right? But you have both sides, trying to gain momentum and increase their numbers. But if we can have 500, 600 people out there from St. John registered and coming back for our elections and voting, it will make the difference. And that goes across in all the different constituencies. So I am very, very confident that this initiative, this pet project of mine, to get as many persons as possible registered who live in the diaspora, who come in and out of Grenada. You're a Grenadian, right? You have to come home and vote when the election time comes around, to keep the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team there for a very long time to transform Grenada. That is very important. Again, I'm saying to you, we have to put country first, because you could say what you want to. The NNP has about 30,000 people supporting them. The NDC has about 30,000 people supporting them, right? You may have 2,000, 3,000 of them not voting, they angry, they bitter with something on both sides. It always requires that 5,000, that 3,000, that 4,000 in the middle, right? Some of them might be NDC who just decided they're not voting, or in the last couple elections they did not vote, but they see a reason to vote, right? There are those who, for the first time, they decide, I will vote. And there are those who would look at both parties, what they're offering, and support based on that. And there are people who just would give you a personal vote. They used to be NNP, and because you're NDC and you're running, they give you a personal vote. They like you, they believe in you, and there are people like that. So that middle ground would always sway who will win and who will lose. That middle ground would always determine that. And that's the politics. But now we have to work harder to get our diaspora brothers and sisters involved in the process so that they can participate in the election and it will make the difference. So again, the NNP is angry because I am able to go out there physically, in person, and communicate that message and speak to people and meet people. Because if you believe those ministers of government is popular, according to 3 of those ministers, they say Kem Jones, boy, everywhere we go in the United States or Canada, the people want to see Kem Jones. They want to meet Kem Jones. Amazingly, some people underestimate the relationship I have forged, the respect I've earned over the many years from our Grenadian brothers and sisters. I know when I go to New York, it will be, you talk about Gala Fete, you talk about event rampack. When Kem Jones goes to New York, you would see, you would know. When Kem Jones goes to Canada, you will see, you will know. Or the UK, wherever. Because I come with energy, I come with vibes, I come with love, I come with, respect, I come with humility, I come with a different, aura, different everything. The people embrace me, the people love me. Because they understand I'm the realest. I am as real as you get. They can't wait. They can't wait to see Kem Jones and meet Kem Jones out there. But it will happen because we have to make sure that we communicate with our people, that we bring that message to our people so that they will be able to get more involved in the process. The NNP, they're constantly attacking those folks in the diaspora because the NNP, they have lost the support in the diaspora. And they know that. They've lost. So they constantly attack the people in the diaspora, those pundits and surrogates and goons of the NNP. But folks, I want to feature some positive stuff at this point because, we want to remain positive. We want Grenada to move forward. So let me firstly play a little piece where the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, was engaging the folks within his, under his wing, so to speak, clinics, hospitals, and so on. Let's play that.
Senior managers in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs have accompanied their minister, Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, on tour of several health facilities across the island. The ministry's Senior Health Promotions, Communications and Public Information Officer, Kevin Frederick, is part of the delegation.
The continuous assessment of healthcare facilities, staff performance and customer satisfaction are of equal importance to the overall delivery of healthcare services and access at all levels, which the Deacon Mitchell-led administration is assiduously giving its attention. By now you know, Health Minister Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette and his primary healthcare management team have been putting measures in place to address major concerns head-on, especially at the community level. Minister Lacrette, who is familiar with some of the concerns, is not shying away, but instead is determined to tackle the priority issues in a systematic way to improve services.
We wanted to ensure that we touch base with all of the clinicians because sometimes, Kevin, when you get to the management level, you tend to get a bit comfortable. And I didn't want the management to get comfortable. I wanted to ensure that even the medical director of hospital services, etc., the CMO is usually out in the community, as well as the senior medical officer for primary healthcare and chronic disease, etc. But when you bring the entire management out, I believe that everybody receives a greater appreciation for what the nurses face and what they go through on a daily basis. And also the patients, when they come to the clinics, what are some of the challenges that they have, so that we can see how we can remedy these challenges for 2024 one by one.
The island's health minister added,
there are some general things that we can certainly get done, but I believe that the assessment and analysis that we are conducting right now is extremely important as we come to the final stages of our budget consultation as well, so that we know how we're budgeting, why we're budgeting, especially for the retrofitting and reconstruction of some of the medical stations and the smarting of those medical stations as well, so that you can make life comfortable for the clinicians as well as the patients.
He said,
we have put together a plan for the training of nurses next year, as well as healthcare assistants. But healthcare assistants in the first instance, so that they can help bolster the skills gap that we have while we take some time to train nurses, because you do know it takes about 4 years to train a nurse. Yes, but we did notice that we still have some infrastructural work to do in some of the medical stations, but material resources as well as human resource are two of the foregoing things that jumped out at us as a team. We are extremely excited. We have earmarked the years 2024 to 2027 as the years of health sector modernization, and we do have some strategic plans in place to ensure that we modernize incrementally. And of course, the nation is going to be informed, and they're going to hear about those modernization objectives and strategic imperatives that we've put together for this sector. But primary healthcare is going to be at the top of our list as it relates to high focus. We do have some big ticket items, and they are medium term to long term, but we want to ensure that we have a very strong primary healthcare structure and infrastructure as we move forward, because we believe from a medical perspective as well as technical perspective, if we get primary healthcare right, every other tertiary healthcare institution that comes is going to have a very strong, solid base to stand on, because primary healthcare is running very smoothly.
Another key member of the team is Mrs. Carol Tillisford-Charles, Chief Community Health Nurse.
As you are aware, a number of facilities have been refurbished, and some new ones. For example, we had Guelph some years ago. Then we had Victoria, which we recommissioned this year. We also had Good Hope, right? And we continue. So we're in the parish of St. David's, and Wester Hall was one of the recent refurbished ones. But when we look at Pegmont and Vincent's medical stations, these are two facilities that really need some facelift and some refurbishment. And we know that there is commitment, and for the 2024 budget, we're hopeful, and we know that they are going to be addressed.
Reporting, Kevin Fedge.
Right, so that there, good, very good. The Minister of Health, the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, he's on the ball as usual, not surprising, visiting the different clinics, visiting the workers in the different clinics and so on. I really love to see that. That is what you want to see as you move forward. We also saw the launch of Carnival. All right.
Government has once again committed to invest $250,000 to assist the Carnival Committee with staging the major festival next year. Kayak Mass 2024, showcasing our rich culture, your passport to real mass and splendor, was officially launched on Saturday, October 28th. Minister for Sports and Culture, Honorable Ron Redhead, said the response to the festival in 2023 was commendable, and government is once again lending support.
We are going to do as we did last year. We gave approximately $250,000, and we will continue on that trend. I mean, if Carriacou indicates that they would like to have something a bit more, we're always generous, but we have to manage our own ability to give so much. But what we want to do different is to encourage the private sector to join and come on board and market Carriacou as an actual tourism destination, so that its carnival can benefit from visitors, locals alike, and foreign nationals coming back home to celebrate the 50th, but at the same time enjoy Kayak Mass 2024.
Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews, is happy with government's commitment to invest in the festival and implored on corporate Grenada to get involved.
Carriacou Carnival 2024 will be one of the biggest and best carnivals that we've ever seen in the history of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique and the region. And in order for that to happen, we need all hands on deck to make it a reality. So from the private sector, we are calling on you to contribute and to make your necessary sponsorship available to the Kayak Mass. The government of Grenada will lead in that regard. Last year, the government of Grenada, through the good Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Lotto, contributed roughly $250,000. And through the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we contributed over $150,000. And the intention is to contribute even more next year so that we can grow and develop this mecca, this culture, this rich tradition, kayak mass. You can't experience it anywhere else but Carriacou.
Chair of the Carriacou Carnival Committee, Princess Harry John, outlined the events for Carriacou Carnival, announcing the reintroduction of Canbule and the twinning of Groovy and Soca Monarch.
On Thursday, February 8th, we will have our Queen Show. We call it Majestic Thursday. Friday 9th, the Soca Monarch and Groovy. So this year we'll be tuning the Soca and Groovy show. Saturday, the 10th, we have our Soca Fete. Sunday 11th, we also have a twist. So we're having Calypso and Canbule. Over the years before, Canbule played a major role on the Sunday night. So this year we'll be tuning Calypso and Canbule. Monday will be our Juve, Fancy Mass and Monday Night Mass later on. Tuesday, the unique Shakespeare Mass and Parade of the Bands, and last
Right,
night.
so Carnival in Carriacou, and you know it's on that weekend of the 9th of February, that weekend. So the 9th, 10th, 11th, the 12th, you know, on that particular weekend. I want to again feature another good thing that's happening here. They're about to do some work on the Kirani James stadium relay tracks. All right, so are they
New tracks will
I
soon
think
be
they're relaying the tracks. Let me see.
played at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Work is scheduled to commence in January 2024 for an estimated 4 to 5 weeks as the country prepares to host the 51st Carifta Games in March. As a result, schools that utilize the facility to host the annual athletic meet will move to alternative venues. Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Ron Redhead, says work is in motion to upgrade the Roy St. John playing field and the Progress Park to serve as alternative venues for schools to host athletic meets.
We are upgrading the Tantine facility. We are ensuring that we can complete the drainage there. We are doing everything that we can to fast track the lighting of it. And we are also ensuring that Progress Park, notwithstanding the fire with the school, just occurred, is going to be ready and available for all athletes so that they can continue their preparations for Carifta 2024. So that's just in a nutshell what we are doing in terms of augmenting the use of the Kirani James Athletic Stadium.
Minister Redhead says the plan is to ensure that the facility will be ready for the staging of the inter-secondary school games March 19th to 21st, 2024.
Well, the 5 weeks is maximum, and it will entail certainly from the preparation. The contractor has to make the materials and ship it. That will take approximately 4 to 5 weeks to reach. So by the time January 2024, the materials should be on island. We have already spoken to the contractor to ensure that that shipping time is going to be kept, and so that we can be in a position to actually have the tracks relayed before Carifta 2024. It's going to be in time for intercall as well, but what we want to do is to ensure that by and large for Carifta, that the tracks will be in place.
Grenada's National Cricket Stadium will also undergo major repairs and an upgrade. The major work will commence in 2024 as Grenada is set to host 2 T20 matches in the West Indies home series against England, December 14th and 16th.
Work is currently ongoing. We had to make several changes, which also included the electrical facilities for lights. They were never in place, and therefore for the cricket stadium in particular, we had to redo some of the assessments, and so we spoke to the Chinese about that. We spoke to the People's Republic of China for ensuring that we could get the manuals this time in English and not Mandarin. So these were some of the things that we had to do, and these things take a process. It can't happen in 1 year, and we may not see it happening in 2 years. Again, the duration for the refurbishment of the cricket stadium is approximately 18 months.
Will that in any way hamper the cricket?
No, so we are commencing full-scale repairs after in the 2024 period and not within this period. So the cricket, T20 cricket in December will go on as planned.
Major work on the cricket stadium will commence in full after the 50th Independence Anniversary celebration in February 2024.
A lot will come on stream in 2024. A lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs, a lot of things will be happening in 2024. All right. So, I want to go back to some of those pundits on the obstructionist side. I always ask myself why they dislike the people in the diaspora. So they're always attacking the folks in the diaspora, right? That's one of the pundit on the other side.
This party that we see now in government, I have voted for them. Yes, I voted for them. But I want some of all you in the diaspora, some of the NDC supporters in the diaspora, I want you to keep all your ass quiet. What do you know what's happening? What do you know about what's going on? What people feeling in this day country? What do you know? Some of all you could walk in a store, take 100 US and buy that and buy this. Some of which could take millions of dollars and plunge it into activities that they want. But all you want to stay in the diaspora, stay in America, stay in England, stay in Canada, whatsoever you are, and dictate that Grenada is the best place in the world when it comes to high cost of living and so forth and how people are feeling.
All right, so yeah, I always wonder why these people hate the folks in the diaspora. Those on the obstructionist side, they always attack the people in the diaspora. That didn't used to be so. When they had all the support and so on from the folks in the diaspora, they were in high praise for them. But now they're just constantly attacking the people in the diaspora. I don't know why, but boy, oh boy, since they have lost the support of the people in the diaspora, they have become very angry, very bitter against the folks in the diaspora, which is sad. I want to tell you that my event, again, it's on the 9th of February. Don't forget that. The 9th of February, that's 2 days after Independence Parade. I mean, the big event at the stadium. 2 days. So Wednesday is Independence. Wednesday will be Independence Day, February the 7th. Thursday, Friday. So Friday will be my event at the Radisson Hotel Crown Ballroom, starting at 7 p.m. and going until 12 midnight. The name of the event by now, Cheers to 50 Years. Cheers to 50 Years. And it's the ultimate cocktail reception and entertainment. You will be entertained by Solid the Band, and they're the main feature. You'll be entertained by Lyndon Langdon. He's one of the best saxophonists on island. You'll be entertained by Selector Beast, one of the better DJs here in Grenada. He's regionally and internationally recognized. DJ Kareem. I also will be having a young man out of the United States of America. He's very good with the violin. So he will come to Grenada for the event, and he will be featured in the next bulletin. When I put out the next flyer, he will be featured on that flyer. That's Donnell Best. He is really good, a Grenadian based out there in the United States of America. So I will get him to come to the event on the 9th. All right. In fact, I was in serious conversation with him today. So we are set for that. So you can expect the saxophone, the violin, the pan, the piano, stand-up poetry, right? Spoken word poetry. So you can expect a lot on that night. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. So I can tell you, if you have not yet purchased your ticket, I want to encourage you to do so. All right? $200 early bird tickets. We still have some. Left. So I want to urge you to purchase your ticket. It's 200 EC by the 15th of this month, I will print 100 more tickets. But at 100 ticket, the 100 tickets, the price will increase significantly so. So again, saying to you, we still have some early bird tickets if you want to come to the event. If you intend to come to Grenada, or if you're in Grenada and you want to go to an event around Independence time, just 2 days after Independence, a formal event, because this is a formal event. A formal event. Remember that. It's elegantly formal. So I expect the men to be dressed with their, jacket and tie, blazer, three-piece suit. The women with a nice fancy hat, the nice fancy dress, the outfit, shining like queens, and the men like kings. I mean, it is a formal event. All right. So you're expected to come there formally dressed, and we will have a wonderful time. You will get the opportunity to take professional photos. You'll get the opportunity to take photos with me. And it's my hope also to have those government ministers, the prime minister, the whole team there. So it will be wonderful. It will be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I look forward to having you be a part of this event. Remember, it can only accommodate 500 people. So only 500 people the event will accommodate. I want to thank the folks who sponsored couple tickets. And I'm not going to just give anybody the tickets, right? There are one or two people who reached out and said, okay, I'm just on the ticket. But I must first know, because there are people who support what I do. They have been in Carnival with me when I went up there. They've been on the protest, the rally, all the events, Youth for Change, just name it. They've been there, and they just can't afford to buy a ticket. So I will give them that. The tickets that the people sponsored, a number of people sponsored some tickets. So I give these people. There are one or two other people who reach out and I said yes or I said no. But generally speaking, it would be that kind of thing. During the daytime, so the night event set 7 to 12 in the PM. During the daytime, from 11 until about 5, I'll do about 10 pots of oil down, free. You can come once you have your ticket. Once you're a ticket holder, and I know the people who will have tickets, because I am the only person selling tickets, and I'm the only person who doing all of that when it comes to the tickets. So I know the names of the people, I know the numbers I'm giving you for the tickets and everything, and I have that written down. So nobody can just come and say, well, they come into the event. When I ask them, who you buy the ticket from, where you got it from. So, I know who. I have a list of the people. So there might be one person who ordering 15. That person will be required to give me all the names of the people who will be coming. And the folks who order 2 or 3, you have to give me the names of all the people. So yes, the 2 tickets is under you, but I have your number. I have everybody's number because you communicate with me. You have to provide that to me so I can have that for the night. So yes, we were selling the tickets, but I know who I'm doing that with and who buying the tickets, right? But the names must be submitted thereafter. Very important indeed. This is a formal event, so not any and anybody could just come in after. Once you have your ticket, you have access. So you can come at my place during the day for oil down. It's free, but the drinks, a solid bar awaits you. You would have to buy the drinks on that day. So we will have a fantastic time. It's a whole day of events, really. On the 9th, that's Friday the 9th. You come at my place at Oil Down, you buy your drinks, you chill, you socialize, you go home, you organize yourself, and then you come to the cocktail reception and entertainment. That is what would happen. So we are in for a wonderful night. So I want to encourage you, if you have not yet purchased your ticket, if you have not yet indicated to me, well, Kem Jones, hold 2 tickets so you put it away in an envelope for you or something, you can do that by sending me a WhatsApp message or sending me some message, right? Saying, Kem, I want 2 tickets, I want 3, I want 1, that kind of thing. And between now and the end of November, now to November the 30th, you are required to pay for all the early bird tickets. So once you tell me to keep that, between now and that time, you are required to pay for all the tickets. Right? So once you call me and say, Kem Jones, put away 2 tickets immediately. Once I know you and so on, put your tickets in an envelope and write your name on it. I hold it for you. So you're required between now and the end of November to pay for it. So you have a good time to bank up your money and pay. So you could pay tomorrow, you could pay next week, you could pay the other week, but between now and the end of November. Between now and the end of November. Then the next 100 tickets that I will be printing, it will be cash, right? Cash. You have to pay for that 100. You have to pay for it. I think the price of the next 100 tickets, as the last 100 ticket, it would be between $300 and $350. So I have not yet decided whether it's $300 or whether it will be $350. The last 100 tickets. So all now, you can get a ticket for $200, 200 EC. But by next week, sometime next week, so Monday, Tuesday, around this, so I should have that next 100, that last 100 tickets by that time. So again, saying to you, if you need a ticket, you can purchase one, right? And the tickets that are sponsored, I know who I'm giving the ticket. So don't send me messages asking me for tickets, because I know the regulars who come to my events and activities. So there are people who sponsor the tickets, but I'm giving the people who normally come to my activities, normally help and participate and so on. These are the people I'm giving the tickets. So don't send me a message or two saying, well, I want a ticket or give me a ticket. No, it wouldn't happen that way, right? Given the regulars, the people who come to nearly all the events and all the activities, whether it be Youth for Change meeting, whether it be the opening of Tevin office in Carriacou when I chatted Osprey, or whether it be when I went up with Dolly C, I chatted Dolly C to go up there to support Tevin, whether it be to some Youth for Change meeting or my birthday event or some fundraiser or something or some protest in tongue or some demonstration that I mobilize and organize people for or something, right? These are the people who I will be giving that. They sponsored tickets. So there are a number of people who sponsored. I think it's about 27 or 28 tickets sponsored. I think it's about that. It reached to that point, about either 26 or 27. Close to 30 tickets have already been sponsored, which is great, right? Really wonderful. But if you want ticket right now, like, early bird ticket, I still have. It's 200 EC. But by next week, that will be done. You'll be finished. By next week, there will be no early bird tickets. The tickets for the event will be between $300 or $350. I don't know how much it will be yet, but I believe it would be about $350 more than the $300. I don't think I'm going to settle for the $300, but instead bring it up to $350. It's a fundraiser after all right? It's a fundraiser to get equipment, to get the materials, to get stuff towards establishing that radio station. So if you want tickets now, at this point in time, early bird tickets, $200. But anything after that, by Monday, so next week, right? So you have today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then you have Saturday, Sunday, and by Monday, so you have the new tickets on sale. And again, saying to you, we still have some early birds, right? So I want to wish you all the best tonight. I will be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, starting from 8 a.m., continuing that journey, continuing that mission, because we want our people to have a higher level of reasoning as we move along. Because to transform Grenada, it's not just in the physical, but it's also psychologically, it's also mentally. We have to transform the minds of our people. So for a pleasant night, I wish you all the best. Take good care and bye for now. All right?